All right, welcome everyone to another episode of Trek Talk with a new segment. Who's that Karen? I'm TechMan16,
And I'm Andy.
and Kirk's. What was it? LARPing? Is he LARPing
Kirk.
again?
He's Kirking.
He's Kirking. I'm sorry. He's
That's
Kirking.
okay.
Anyways, today I want to we'll talk about the territory capture event, which has been just a windfall of, I don't know. Let's call it nothingness. But before we get into that, I brought Shadow back up here because last time, Shadow, you told me that your mother worked on the set of Star Trek Discovery, and that is why you watched Star Trek to begin with, and subsequently got into this game. So I really want to talk about what particular sets that she worked on. That if I were to rewatch it, I shudder to think saying those words. If I were to rewatch Discovery,
That's
what to watch out for.
This is one of those occasions where the juice may not be worth a squeeze. Just saying.
Man, it's hard. But here's the thing, though. When I watched Star Trek Discovery season 1, it it, it made me roll my eyes every episode. But at least it was like Star Trek was back, kind of feeling. Now it didn't help that the Orville was running at the same time. And the Orville was more like, oh my god, this is Star Trek. And then I'm watching Discovery and I'm like, ugh, this is real Star Trek. Ugh. But all that aside, I think it was really cool that they employed a lot of people to do a lot of this work for Discovery. And one of them was Shadow's mom. So Shadow, welcome back. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Good, man. Good. I noticed you've been pretty busy, so you haven't been in game much lately, but that's okay.
Yeah.
In any case, so let's start talking about. Can you name off some of the sets that your mother worked on in season 1 and or season 2?
Yeah. Well, as probably everybody knows, that the Discovery was taped and still is they're working is in Toronto, Pinewood Studios. So my mom only worked on 2 seasons because she retired after that. So basically the first season was the main one was the South Africans. I can't pronounce the word. I know it's Greek. That I know.
Yeah.
So the ship, and that was a main one, and they built the full set 1-to-1 as it should be. So there's no small scale anything, like it was a full size set. Even everything was full size. Pinewood Studios have 5 studios, and they took them all to build all the ships full size. So it was a massive undertaking.
I think if I remember correctly, I think there was at least like 4 rooms that we were seeing in the sarcophagus. One of them, of course, was like the main atrium where you had Takuvma coming down the stairs and all the Klingons lining up and seeing the Federation ships come. So that was a pretty, looked like a gold kind of interior, if you will. She designed all that.
Oh, she didn't design. She worked on it. There's designers. She was a general help like anybody else. Okay. So she was a painter, a set designer. So they asked her what to do, and she did it. They gave her blueprints, and she just followed that. The other sets, she was more involved. This one was like, because it was so huge, so there was tons of people involved working around the clock, and all this was made out of wood and MDF. And full size carving, everything was done, and then placed together. So that was a lot of things. And there was other sets she worked on, like a transporter room. That's basically all vinyl graphics. It's painting. It's nothing really special about it. Everything's just fabricated as things. They even asked question my mom how to do the transporter. And I was kind of curious, why would you ask you something like that after so many years of building transporters? Why would you ask you a question like that? So it was just weird, a weird question. But my mom had a suggestion, and they went with it. So that's how they did it.
The transporters being like there were two types of transporters that I remember in Discovery. There's like the typical one where you have the pads underneath. And then there was, I believe in the first couple episodes, it was like the gigantic lights in the back on this Sen show. So did she work on the Discovery, like the Star Trek Discovery transporters, or like?
It was the first set. The first season was basically Discovery set. Then the second set was a Spark room. She worked on it because they had a Spark room. And there was a medic room. It was all yellow. That's all vinyl graphics, yellow vinyl applied. It was like a yellow chamber kind of deal.
Okay, yeah.
It was one of those things. So that was basically it. And and when they finished, when the ship blew up on the end of the season, the whole set blew up. They had to destroy it to build another ships.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so it was a massive undertaking, big time.
I think that's the most painful part. You take in so much time to put together all these sets, these really elaborate, real looking like sets, and then just destroy them. What, like 11 months later? How long did shooting take?
I'm not sure I'm not sure about the timetable, but I know they were late on those things. But yeah,
of course, in pure Star Trek fashion, they were late. Let me think, because it takes about. What did Anson Mount? Anson Mount had an interview, and he said that an episode took like 3 months. So Discovery was like 10 episodes. No, it couldn't have taken 30 months to do that.
No, everything had to be
done. No,
3 seasons. So yeah, they have 11 months to shoot everything. They have to shoot the set, and then it has to be edited right away and put on TV, and scrap everything, and we all go again.
Right. Okay. So yeah, I guess it was like 11 months to do all that. And obviously, what was the studio name in Toronto? I forget.
Pinewood.
Pinewood. Yeah, because Pinewood has to. They disclose what's being filmed there at any point in time. So it was. I know that it was posted under code name so that nobody knew it was Discovery.
Yeah, it was coded, so nobody knew. So everything was hush kind of deal in the beginning. Now it's all open. You can read everything about it. Yeah, but there was a secret. Like everything else, you have to sign things. You cannot be on disclosure because it's a surprise and whatever. In every aspect of business like that.
So your mom has worked on other shows before as well, Star Trek, or being a.
No, just the 2 seasons, and that was
just the 2 seasons. Yeah. Did she enjoy her time there?
Oh yeah, it was something interesting because my mom, she knew I was into Star Trek. Like I'm not a hardcore Star Trek fan. I just like to watch it once in a while. Like when you guys talk about Star Trek, is over my head. I don't know what you guys talking about here. So yeah, I like Star Trek like anything else. It's interesting, it's nice. And when my mom got more interested, she liked it because I liked it. So and when I watched Discovery, I didn't watch because I like Discovery. I watched it because of sets, common sense. And I never really got into that show.
So you're saying that if I talk about the differences between warp and transwarp, you'd be completely lost?
Yes.
Handy, would you be lost?
Guys. I'm being honest. I like the game. I like Star Trek. I like everything about it. But when you guys talk about the technical terms and stuff like that, it's news to me.
Yeah. Handy, are you like that too?
No.
No.
I know Star Trek pretty well.
Like when Cook and I get into it.
Well, with Lower Decks, sure, because I don't watch Lower Decks, but you talk about any of the other shows, I'll know.
Like, the difference between warp and transwarp?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, good. What's the difference?
transwarps a hell of a lot faster.
Yes, but
it's primarily used by the Borg. They have to create transwarp windows. They're kind of like wormholes, aren't they? There's actual physical locations where transwarp can be used between. This is how they typically did it.
Well, that's how the Borg would move through. They would use transwarp conduits, but that's through the hub.
Gates.
But Borg ships actually use transwarp without a conduit, and so do like the Saurian ships from Voyager, the dinosaurs that evolved. I think it was in the episode Immigrant or whatever. But effectively, there's I can't remember what the number. There's a number beyond a certain decimal point that makes it transwarp. Like Voyager its highest warp speed was 9.95. And then I think if you go above 9.9,
go past 10 for I forget what reason.
Yeah, it's just 10 means that you're occupying every space in the universe at the same time. That's all that means.
Right, that's it.
And then 9 point, I think it's the fifth decimal point, like 9.9997. Once it goes beyond that, that's considered transwarp. I think. Don't quote me on it. I'm sure if Cook was here, he'd be able to tell me the definition. So yeah, Shadow is like thinking like, what the hell are you guys talking about? Makes no sense. Anyway, so getting back to the sets here, because so she worked on the sarcophagus or the slophagus.
Yeah.
She works on the transporter. Anything else that she worked on?
No, that was it. It was the main one.
Just those main ones.
Yeah.
Okay. Was she able to meet?
The season was they built the Spark room, so that she worked on that too. Because there was an episode that Spark arrived or something like that, and there was
Okay, all right. So like one of like he was in detention, right? There's
I don't know what it was, but I know there was one set that was surrounded by him and was built for Spark.
Oh, okay, all right. So there was two in season 2. One was the room that he escaped from at Starfleet, and then the second one was where he went to hide from his father, where he was like all dyslexic-y and stuff, and Katra stones protected the sensing of his presence or whatever. And that's where Burnham found him with his mother.
Yeah. Cool.
Did she meet the cast and crew?
I don't think so. No.
No. So, all right. So, explain to me how this works. So,
I never actually asked in details, but if she mentioned it, I'm not sure.
Okay, so they would build the sets, and then she'd be done for the rest of the season, and then they do their filming, and then she comes. Did she come help take it apart?
No, that's a different crew. She builds it, and there's another crew who destroys it.
Okay, all right. So you said it took about 11 months to get all that created?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Well, they had started ahead of time first to build all the ships, right? And one by one, they were destroying them after.
I see. I guess, yeah, it would make sense. You kind of build them to film it out of order so that you can edit them later.
Yeah, they do. And they do all editing like you do, the replacing, move back and forth, Because they have to go by convenience and timing, right? So they cannot just shoot the episode the way the story goes. They go by timing and whatever location that is available at that time. So that's what they should, and they just rearrange it after.
Right. Makes sense.
It's like other movies. When they create, sometimes they shoot the last scene first, and then to shoot other stuff and just messing around and just put it together after.
Yeah, that process, I would keep it jumbled in my head because you have a linear progression of a movie, and then you have to compartmentalize it and only film certain things at certain times. That maybe for some it's easy to do. For others, probably be very difficult to comprehend the whole process.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So did
that's why they number each clip.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, if you're the guy that's trying to keep it all together, or like you're the producer or whatever, you're trying to keep what scenes are done where and how to edit them together. I'm just saying, if you're trying to reproduce it from memory, I guess it'd be hard. I guess why you have all those markers.
No. Like the gentleman said, everything is marked, so everything is coded and recorded in time frame. And then if they like it, they put it together. If they don't like it, they're gonna delete it and reshoot it. Whatever it takes. That's why it's a long process. And some of the series they can get away because they have a 5 years. 5 years. 5 years. Those also, they're on time schedule. But some movies, they like features, they got like 30 days to shoot the whole movie, and try to rush everything through, make sure everything. That's why there's so much mistake happening. But they're doing a pretty good job.
30 days. That's a very tight time frame to shoot an entire movie.
Yeah. It's all business. You have to make quick. You have to be quick on the toes.
All right. In that case, did you watch season 3 of Discovery?
Nope.
Good. Because it's
my mom stopped working. I stopped watching. That's how it works.
Oh, gee, why not? It was so good.
Did you see all of it, Handy?
You missed out. Yeah, actually, I don't know if I actually finished it. I think I might have watched like some of it, and I just lost interest and forgot that I never even watched it all.
It was the last like 3 episodes were just so bad, just awful.
Yeah, I think I literally just stopped watching it. That's surprising because I'll usually watch anything Star Trek, but
the last 3 episodes basically they find the reason for spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen season 3 yet, but there was a massive explosion called the burn, which rendered all dilithium ships inert, and they exploded with an active warp drive. And then they found the reason for the burn. It was a Kelpian whose DNA kind of fused with the dilithium planet, and he watched his mother die in front of him of radiation poisoning in a fairly gruesome way. And so he yelled and screamed, and that anger caused a shockwave in the dilithium planet that just like shot out across the galaxy or whatever, and that caused the burn.
Which is the stupidest fucking reason I can think of to come up with. Like, seriously, that's what caused the burn? Really?
And it's funny because I've said this story before. I was on the official Star Trek Discord, and I said, well, the Kelpian, his name was Sukal, and I'm like, yeah, man, he just seems super autistic based on the way he responded to when the Discovery crew found him. And then we're like, that is so insensitive. I'm like, well, he has a speech impediment. He can't recognize regular human emotions. So that is pretty much the definition of being on the spectrum. And they're like, was that written anywhere? I'm like, it doesn't have to be. You just watch it. And then they're like, and so they put me in the brig on the Star Trek Discord. They're like, that's insensitive. Like, you have to be sensitive to people with disabilities. I'm like, I'm not pointing out anything that's not already visible on the screen. I mean, they're like, well, like, how would you feel if you were locked in a hollow chamber for like 100 years? I'm like, again,
wait. Those Karens threw you in the Discord brig because you brought up the subject that he might have been autistic. Really?
Yeah.
What? Wow, never mind just having an adult conversation. Oh no, you can't bring anything up sensitive. Somebody might get offended. Oh, fuck
Right.
you and your sensitivity.
Because I may have been a little more crass. I called him an autistic child, or autistic man child, and
still,
but still, right? Like I was thrown in the brig. I was told by the whoever they are, the moderators, that was insensitive. I mean, they didn't, again, in the conversations with the moderators, they didn't seem all that concerned about what I said. The people that I was talking to were hugely offended. You know, the people that have the particular pronouns at the end of their screen names to denote what pronouns they are. Those are the people that were. No, those were the people that were most offended.
There's people that, yeah.
Oh my god, dude! On the Star Trek Discord, dude, like I would say about 40% of the people on that Discord have like pronouns in their handles.
You're kidding me. Such as?
No, and it's the normal he, him, she, her. Some of them are really funny, like she, they, them. I mean, it's just sometimes it's. Oh, there was one dude. I think it was XE/XEM.
The fuck does that?
So, I have no idea what that meant.
Yeah.
But if you really want to offend them, I can drop a Star Trek tidbit that will have a cataclysmic trigger.
Absolutely. Yes, please.
So I'm former law enforcement, and I was not a sex crimes investigator, but I did handle sex crimes investigation at times. And you learn things, kind of profiling, as it were. And every Star Trek fan isn't a child molester, but every child molester is a Star Trek fan.
Oh, God. Thanks for that.
I shit you not. I shit you not. You go to, you finish an investigation and you go you go into their home for, a consensual interview, and you will find Star Trek shit in every child molester's house.
Wow, that's weird. That's creepy.
Many a beers and many a whiskey has been drunk by cops at bars trying to figure out why that is.
Yeah, I was about to ask what.
I'm trying to figure that rack in my brain right now. I'm trying to figure out why.
My theory
because they're out of touch with reality and they just like sci-fi.
No, I think personally, my theory is that it is prescribed. Star Trek is a utopian society that no matter how different you are, you're equal and you have the same rights, and they really go into the prime directive of it doesn't matter how different somebody else from you is, that's their culture and you have to accept it. And I suspect maybe they find something in that message that where they can seem less aberrant to themselves.
That tracks, but that's a very sick and twisted way of doing it.
Well, I mean, like, I don't know much about sex crimes of that nature, but I want to say at least some of them realize that it is an aberration.
Well, how could they not?
I don't know, man. Like, people are different.
People are broken.
Look, man, it's just I can't explain it. I mean, how
if you're attracted to an actual child, you're broken. Something's wrong with you. That's just flat out. You can't say anything otherwise.
I can't say anything otherwise.
Or you won't say anything otherwise.
You can't take me anywhere. I ruin everything.
That's perfect. Yeah. That's what the show's all about.
Right. Shadow, you have an opinion?
I thought we're talking. I thought I'm here to learn about Star Trek, about other BS.
Shadow told all these wonderful stories about his mom and Star Trek vaccines. Lord, I feel like I just wiped it all away.
Yeah, he pretty much did.
Yeah, I was talking about happy, good things, and you guys turned into dark things. Jeez.
Yeah, right. Jeez, Occam's, man, you just burned everything.
As my wife said, she can only take me someplace twice if it's to go back the second time to apologize.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Anyways, getting back to the Star Trek Discord Karens. So yeah, I basically said it was an autistic man-child, and they're like, well, how would you feel if you were locked in a holographic chamber? You were locked in a holographic chamber for 100 years. And I'm like, well, the holo chamber is programmed with basically real humans, Vulcans, Klingons, whatever, and they interact with you like normal people. So if the Su'Kal didn't have autism, he would still react normally to these holograms for the time that he's been growing up. And so the fact that he doesn't, or understand empathy, or still acts like a child when he's 100 is kind of a problem. It's not how humans normally would behave. Even if you are in solitary confinement, surrounded by every particular program that the ship can run for you, So anyways, they got pissed off about that, and I was in the brig for a couple days. Because the way the brig works on that Discord is, if you're not directly looking at that particular channel and you scroll away, then every conversation gets erased. So you're gonna have you physically have to be in that channel and look at that channel in order to see the conversation with, with the moderators. Yeah,
I would assume the moderators can see everything always, but maybe not.
Right. So I had to actually one of the moderators was on this podcast before, and so he was sending me screenshots of what people were saying in the chat to me so I could respond better.
Yep. Those last episodes of Discovery, this is my problem with the Federation and, well, Star Trek and Federation in general. After they found out what that Kelpian kid caused, and he could potentially do it again, it never occurred to any of them to just tell him really nice things and keep him calm and wait for him to go to sleep, and then just turn a phaser up to 11 and disintegrate him while he was sleeping.
Or they could just separate him from the planet, right? If he's not at the planet, he can't cause whatever happens.
Well, I think the issue was that he was so volatile that he could go off at any moment. And if he got that scream out, that was all she wrote. Yeah. So, just wait for him to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Or in the typical non-violence fashion, if you wait for him to go to sleep, you just transport him off the planet, and then just go him back to the Federation. Boom, problem solved.
Yeah, well, they couldn't make it easy. Anyway, it was horrible writing. Let's move on.
Let's move on. I mean, you gonna watch season 4?
I might. We'll see.
Season 4 sounds exactly like season 3.
The only thing that really I liked about Discovery was all the new tech. That was cool.
The new tech, that was the old tech?
No, like the whatever, nanite holes and ships like changing shape and stuff, and that was kind of cool.
You mean in season 3?
Yeah.
You're talking about like Booker's ship, right? Where
that in season 2, or maybe not.
Because Discovery takes place at the time of Kirk, so they shouldn't have more advanced tech than what they did. And then they went to the future, which was completely unnecessary. I mean, I know why they did it, because to get away from canon. But if you rewatch the season 2 finale, I'm sure Occam's you probably are gonna be like, oh my god, I remember this scene. So they're going towards the wormhole to go to the future, and as they're going towards the wormhole, Giorgio calls the bridge and says, "Control is neutralized." And I'm just like, okay, you could turn back, I guess. You don't need to go. It's like, all right, time to go. And you're like, wait, but control is neutralized. The threat is over. Why do you still need to go to the future? This makes no sense. But they did it anyway.
They have to get rid of the Discovery, so it was like written out of all timelines, so Control couldn't get it. But then again, if Control was neutralized, this is why you don't think. This is the same reason that you vaporize the kid while he's asleep instead of, But there's a lot at stake from half measures. Besides, it was a great opportunity to get rid of Jesus Christ, she's an officer in the game, and I can't remember.
Burnham?
Thank you. Sucks to get old.
Which officer?
That was Burnham. You were right. I mean, Burnham was annoying. Who would not pass up an opportunity to get rid of, shoot her into the future and go, okay, that problem solved.
You're talking about Tilly?
No, he said Burnham.
Oh, Burnham.
I meant.
And then season 3 was like, okay, you broke protocol, you did this mission, but because nobody died, we're just going to demote you. And then the next episode, like, okay, you're going to be our envoy to Nevar, which is old Vulcan. And you're like,
and then let's just make her captain, because that makes
sense. Let's promote Tilly to first officer, because she only has a big part. Mental health is solved in one episode, with everybody just exploding all at once. And then we're good to go.
Anyway, let's talk some STFC.
All right, yeah. Let's get off the Discovery Channel. So Shadow, man, thanks for sharing all that stuff about your mom. I'm sure it's cool. I'm sure she had fun. No more sets for her, right? She's all retired.
Yeah, she is.
Awesome, man. All right, let's talk about Server 34 Karens. Because Strange Kirk was basically telling, first of all, why would you hit bold? Why would anybody hit bold OPL? I mean, they're our Karen alliance. That caused more problems in the TC swap Discord than anything.
What's with all the background noise, Tech?
That's my kid with coins, playing with coins on my laptop.
Really, really loud. Yeah, I don't know. People just don't like bold, I guess.
Well, obviously, but their reactions, right? As soon as one of them gets hit, then they declare war.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. That didn't actually happen. They didn't call war.
Well, no, they didn't, but they've gone to war for less.
Yeah, I mean, we all have, but the OPL thing was kind of a mistake. I mean, we jumped the gun a little bit. We just kind of assumed that everybody is going to hit ISO. Because it was the understanding when we first started talking in the territory Discord, we were saying, okay, look, no hitting ISO in TC unless there's an event that says, you can. That awards points for taking ISO. That was the original agreement. But when it came down to it, everybody still didn't want to hit ISO. And it came down to, well, was it actually written in the rules, in the word of law? And no, it wasn't mentioned in there, but that was the discussion. Every admiral was in on it. And a whole bunch of people asked the question multiple times over weeks, saying, well, what about events? Like if an event, ISO events, and it was, well, no hitting ice during ISO events, period. And unless the event says you get points for hitting ISO. So even the people without a territory that, let's say you don't have 3-star ISO. Yeah, okay, so you're able to OPL hit 3-star ISO on our server. Okay, great. Now, during an event, though, during an ISO mining event, we tell those people, no, don't hit anything. Great. And the only caveat to that is unless the event says that you can score points by hitting OPL. So we just assume that everybody's going to be out there hitting OPL because they can get points for it.
And so what actually ended up happening?
Oh, everybody cried foul and didn't want to do it. Long story short.
And what was
You cut out what? What was...
Sorry, I just have some background noise here. What was the notion that Kirk was talking about you guys dropping all your territories and rearranging the map just to get points, to score first?
No, that was just an idea. We were, wondering if other people were going to do those sort of things, and we contemplated doing it. Like, how does one win this type of an event? Well, if everybody is sitting on their territories and you just drop and retake or just retake your territories, I mean, you can only get so many points. The other way to get points is to move around the board, take other people's stuff, right? So it was considered.
So, all right, because I know there was like a bunch of people that were all for, let's go take other people's stuff. Let's go out and take other territories. And Kirk was like, no, you guys are all idiots. I'm not doing this.
Who said that?
I'll be in your face. Well, a lot of the guys in Alliance chat. I mean, I wish Kirk was here to talk about it, and he's not. But there was a lot of people that were all about, hey, let's go take other people's territories and move all over the map. And Kirk was basically telling them, you're all morons. I don't know what you're thinking of doing because your repair bills are going to be much higher than the rewards that you're going to get.
Yeah, that's true. But it's not about that. It's just about having a good time. And if people can't participate because they can't afford it, then don't participate or whatever.
So I haven't seen any movement on the map. Are you guys planning movement, or is it just going to be drop and retake your current territories?
Jury's still out.
I think Bold took another territory. I think they have 5 now.
Well, I think they took 1. I haven't been paying attention to what they're doing.
Yeah, because I'm just looking at the map, seeing if anything changed, and they just took 1. That's the only change that I see.
Supposedly that was planned, I guess. I don't know.
But in any case, the alliance that's winning is our favorite mining alliance.
Of course they are.
Because all they do is mine.
Which was part of the point of, like, we could have all hit ISO and then made it more interesting at least, but whatever.
But nope, everybody's too happy just mining ISO.
It's just super boring.
Alright, Occams, we were talking about server 45, and you guys are going to want to rechange the map just to have fun with it.
Yeah, I mean, we had kind of the same discussions like Handy talked about with NONA. And for us, it was, kind of to echo his sentiments. Hey, it'll be fun. Everybody hates us anyway. Let's give them a reason. Factored in as a bonus. But the other thing for some of us too was them changing the buffs on the 3-star systems. For instance, my alliance, our 3-star system went from being a damage buff to a mining buff, and we're like, fuck that. We're gonna go take another 3-star system, because if we'd wanted the mining buff, we would have took it in the first place. So that played a factor.
You mean you're not big miners? Oh my god.
I mean, we win one of our two win alliances, DE or BE, generally 99.9% of the time wins the lat rush. But we don't like mining. No, we just like winning. So, though I must say that once you're in the 50s, though,
does anybody really like to mine?
Some people do, I guess.
Hey man, MCRN, that's what all they're about, man. It's all about mining.
So disappointing.
No, I don't mine anything other than data and lat on Mondays. That's about it.
God damn. Mining data is like pulling teeth.
Oh, it's the worst.
I just go to one of those systems where it takes like 20 minutes to mine a node and then just come back to it later.
I like once a week, like I have downtime, I just stick my botany bay and I'll just do that for like 10 hours.
I don't mine data. I haven't mined data in, I don't know, 6 months maybe? 6-8 months?
I mine it to get the directives for the eclipse.
I don't really need to run. I don't need that stuff for the outlaw research anymore. But I find that if I get the data, I get all the directives, and then when we have events or whatever, or my mids want to go crazy and run exchange, I got all these directives, and I'll be like, sure. And I'll just, I can just pop them all day long, and I don't care about using up those directives.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I do it for, because I'm not in the 50s, so I still have a ton of research to do. But that's the only thing I mine, because I haven't mined G3. Oh my god. Because of these recent events, I had to mine G3, but I never mine G3 anymore, for any reason whatsoever.
What did you have to mine G3 for?
Dailies. Yeah, I never mind G3 anymore. I mean, that's probably how I'll be with G4 too. That I'll probably never mind G4 once I get there. Because mining's ridiculous.
Still mine G3 a little bit, just for the mats for ship scrapping purposes. Because I
went to one of those lucrative warp systems, and I just stuck my super cargo miner on there, and just came back like a day later, and then warped it home. So I get like whatever it is, like 3 million at a time, and I just do the 12,000 refine every time, so I never run out.
Not bad idea.
You get decent enough G3s out of it anyway. G4s will probably be the same, but events will probably pay out better G4s than the refinery will. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really think about G4 unless I got one daily that still needs it, so enough to do that. I got enough G4 to probably last me to the grave.
Yeah, AK, I feel the same way. He says I have more ships docked I have ships docked more than I have them out, and that's pretty true for the most part for me too. But I still do a lot of grinding because I love grinding so much. But I got to do it, especially with the grind for the Stella. Try to hit all those transport guys to level it up. Oh, it's so painful. So what else is going on 45 there, Occam's? Still boring as hell?
It's heating up a little bit. We had a grand coalition that was together in the last war, and we kind of stuck together for a while, and then, we kind of irritated most of them because we kept talking about it, and we're like, hey, the war's over. Those alliances are crushed. And, number of us in our leadership were like, let's just put everybody back to neutral. Many things to do. So some of the alliances that had been with us, through a fair amount of stuff, they were pretty unhappy with that. They were you don't need us anymore. So you're just throwing us away. Didn't really need you in the first place, but you volunteered, so we're happy to have you. So, bitterness. I'm sure our TC reorganization of the map's kicking off today. So I'm sure when that's said and done, there'll be a lot of unhappy people.
Well, when are you planning to go live, I guess?
A couple hours from right now.
Excellent. That should be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, and for us, it's like, there's a material where, like, some of us, our buffs changed, and we're like in this 3 stars, and we're like, we don't like our new buffs. Let's go and take the ones we like better. But then there was also let's just have some fun and go, let's just be a mongrel horde marauding around the map. Let's just be nomadic for a while because, we'll probably do it again next month when the next one goes.
Is there going to be another event next month? Another TC event?
I believe so. Well, that's my understanding. I mean, scopely.
They've really screwed up TCs in a way that you can't really. I don't know, man. There has to be a way to fix the lag. Otherwise, it's not fun.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard, they keep making improvements, so I guess we'll see.
Yeah, but if you can't target ships and while you're in active TC, and if you can't go in there, I mean, what's the point?
Yeah. It's very frustrating. Yeah. But, they obviously put a lot of effort into territories, and they're obviously pushing conflict in territories. So, enable us to do that. The thing you put all the work in. Make sure it works.
I think we're the testing house for them.
Could be.
Like they'll design something on their, I'm sure they have a test server, but then they'll design something and then they're like, all right, well, it's good enough here on this very, very small scale. Let's see how it fares in real time. And then they're like, oh, I guess all these bugs are right.
Yeah, I mean, they keep running into that again and again. So I got to question how much they're stress testing this new stuff. Because they Corda Gamma, they do these big Borg probe events, and then anybody with everybody wants to get the high point ones, so you got everybody crammed into 133 system. Of course, they released some new ones, but that was a problem for a long time.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, it's a good site. They look kind of weird. Have you went into them?
The new Borg systems?
Yeah.
No, I have not yet.
They look a little weird. Like Borg usually has a green tint, and then it's like this beigey green stuff to it. It's I don't know. It's an interesting look. It's not Borg related at all whatsoever. But it's for people who want to hunt Borg probes.
Yeah. I mean, it's a means to an end, so
That's true.
I mean, I don't know. I would rather put effort into other things in the game that don't work with this shit than dressing up, some new 33 Borg systems. Spend their money more wisely.
How often do you go hunting Borgs? Like, I don't really do that very often anymore.
Every 4. When I max out my probes, I'm like, I'm wasting them. I should go, build my stockpile back up. Because, I still need, millions and upon millions of active probes. So,
hey Andy, what's the last tier of like 5 of 11 now? By the way, did you notice that they changed all the Borg designations to of 11?
Yeah. Well, they, I guess, had to.
So un-Borg like. Oh, we'll just change your designation.
Well, they could have just added another group of Borg, I guess, but whatever.
But what's the how many active probes do you need to promote like a tier 5? 5 of 11.
1.1 mil.
1.1 million. Jeez, that is a lot.
For the last one. Yeah.
God. That is a lot. Yeah, I only have like 50,000.
Yeah, I don't think
the same story.
Maxing one out anytime soon.
I maxed out 6, and then I'll probably do 5 next.
Six is good for armadas, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I maxed out 6 just because some event came up, and I just didn't have any officers left to spend experience on. So I was, screw it. I'll just promote him. I'll just make him tier 5, and then I'll have a lot of experience to spend for an event.
I guess, what do you guys do when you max out all your officers? You just accumulate a bunch of transport patterns?
Yep.
Because, we just had the limited time event where you spend XP on officers. And sometimes I wonder, like, these people spend like 23 million XP. I'm just thinking, did you guys not promote any officers for just waiting for this event? Like, what's the deal?
No, that's what you'd get for taking an epic from all the way up from 20 to 30.
23 million? I guess 10 levels is like 1.3 million. That's like 13 million.
Nah, like, I remember like level 29 to 30 on 6 was 2.68 million experience.
Sorry. You're talking about an epic officer, my bad.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking rare.
So 23 million sounds like somebody took an epic from 20 to 30.
Yeah, you're probably right. I don't even have 20 million in XP. I only got like 10 left.
Send it to you. I can spare it.
Yeah, feel free. That'll be great. Oh, look, domination. Who wants to dominate? Talk about a useless event. Domination. You guys remember the time when domination was like the event, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, let's do domination," and the rewards were absolute horse garbage.
I mean, yeah. I mean, sometimes you just, do things to win. I mean, if it's a solo leaderboard or something, or limited or heroic, yeah, yay whoop if that's what you're winning. But for a lot, if the rewards are good, sure, might as well. But
I can't remember a time when domination rewards were very good, because I got like 5th place one time in a solo leaderboard for domination, and I can't remember. I won like 300,000 tritanium or something. I'm just like, wow, I spent all that and got 300,000. That's great.
I mean, everybody I know who's is just sniff-filing. They're just waiting for a good event. So a lot of people that could advance. So sometimes you stockpile and you're waiting for some good event. I'm going to need this stuff and I'm going to get rewards from the event, and then those rewards never materialize. So when any little chicken shit event comes on, I'm sick of waiting. I'm just going to dump all this stuff and do, because I'm tired of retarding my advancement.
By the way, it was like we had a whole bunch of events the past couple of days. Did you guys enjoy that, or was it like too much?
Enjoyed it.
Shadow, did you participate in the last few days? I can't remember if you did.
Yeah, I did feel, but it is a little bit getting overwhelming. You don't have time to do everything, so you just, if like for me, I just choose what I need to have fun, and the rest of them I just don't bother with it. It's a lot of undertaking. What am I supposed to quit my job and just play the game?
Yeah, right. Some people do.
Well, good for them if they can afford. That's great for them. But for my case, like I just choose what I like, and whatever I benefit, even the stuff they give me for free, I got no use for it. So like other gentlemen said, they piled up with a lot of RSS. Same for me. I don't do data anymore. I don't do a lot of things that I don't really need. Like even the outlaw events, I got so much directives. I don't know what to do with them. If you want to buy some, I sell it to you. But yeah, I got no use for them, so I just keep them for fun. And if someone needs help, I help them out. So if you need some help, call me. I set up some armadas. But for my personal benefit, I don't need any more. It's just fine away.
I was kind of floored that there was so many. There's like 9 or 10 events at the same time, and I was like, "Whoa, this is a lot." I mean, that'll keep like you playing for the entire day busy.
I think, like Shadow said, I think he nailed it. That you got to prioritize. If you don't have the time to do them all, pick what's important to you and do those. And if they're not that important to you, and you don't have a great need, don't drive yourself crazy trying to do them all.
Yeah, there's no point. Like I tried it before going crazy because I need this, I need this. It's just overwhelming. It's just too much. And the game's you're supposed to enjoy the game, not get stressed out. And you get to the point that you need this, you get a rush, you got on your own time limit, and it's not worth it anymore. You gotta do your thing, your own time, and just enjoy it. Don't go crazy about it. That's why I joined smaller alliances, less pressure. I don't have to be showing up to have to be number one and stuff like that. You play your own thing and you enjoy it. And right now, like I joined smaller alliance, I always been with the top alliances, top 5 all the time. And it takes a toll on you because you want to prove to your officers that you're good enough to be kept. If you don't produce, you're out, and kind of deal. It's not fun anymore. You have this constant pressure. Constantly, you have to be better than that, and you have to all this. I don't need that. I'm too old for that crap. So, now I'm kind of semi-retired.
That's a better path than just completely burning yourself.
Yeah.
And then you're not having any fun. You end up quitting or picking fights with everybody in your alliance.
And that's a big thing also, sorry to interrupt. It's also the big thing a lot of people argue, this game is becoming very violent, in some sense. And wearing and fighting and fighting, it's because they're pressured. They're pressured to be the best. They're pressured to play better. They're pressured by the alliances, so people don't relax anymore, the game is supposed to be fun. You go, to escape the reality because we work hard in that jobs, stressful it is, especially now. And we want to come here and relax, live different life. And in here is actually more harder in the game, the fighting thing than in real life. I don't need the stress, and it's getting pretty hectic right now. That's my feeling.
That's, I think Kirk and I have talked about that in the past many times, that if this game increases your blood pressure for whatever reason, you should put the game down.
Yeah. Well, sure. It's not worth it. It's not worth it at all. Come on, guys.
But on the other side of that coin, if you do like that kind of competitive play, to be the drive to be the best, to maintain being the best, it can be rewarding if you're doing it with the right group of people.
Don't get me wrong. I'm a very competitive person. When I started this game almost 2 years and a half ago, I always want to be among the best elite players. Because that's how I am in personal life. Always being the best, always being number one, kind of deal. Yeah, I know it's kind of harsh on your body, but I was always one. But and I am very competitive person in the real life and the game. But you get to that point. And saying in real life, I'm still competitive because the rewards are big, because the rewards are for me. Whatever I'm getting is actually real, something I can actually use in my life. Something to look forward to. But in the game kind of deal, it's kind of say to the point, why? Why am I doing this? I invest a lot of time, and I'm going to still continue playing, and I'm going to be still competitive, and I'm going to still help people because I like that part. But it gets to the point, you're it's very repetitive stuff and kind of gets boring, I don't know, maybe the game should be changed a little bit, make it, more exciting, because every time, from my point of view, every day I'm doing the same thing. There's nothing really happening. I don't know if that's the way you guys see it. I'm not sure, but everybody has a different way of looking at things. What's your input on that?
The events are repetitive. I guess
the whole game's really repetitive. Really, when you look at it,
it's the conflict and the interaction, intra and inner alliance that keep it fresh for me.
Yeah, that's really the only thing that keeps it interesting, isn't it?
It is.
It's interesting that I was thinking about this last week. My problems versus somebody else's problems in the game, and at some point, depending on your level, you're not even playing the same game anymore. The level 30,
that very often.
Yeah, the level 30s and the level 40s and the level 50s. It's not. I mean, yeah, we're all in the same universe, but it's not the same game. What I'm worried about is completely far removed from what you guys are worried about and what Shadow's worried about. Because I'm in my 30s, Shadow's in his 40s, you guys are in the 50s. And it's just, the priorities are just completely different. For example, Handy, what's what is something you're trying to achieve in gameplay right now?
Get the Sanctus.
Okay, and how much is it going to cost you to build the Sanctus?
Not much. I probably already have all the mats to do it. I just need
but
the
just
level and the rest.
I get that, but how many mats and how much resources does it take at your level?
I honestly don't even know.
Is it
5G is kind of a different economy.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that bad.
I don't feel as stressed as I did when I was being in the low 50s is far less stressful to me than when I was in the low 40s.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And why is that?
Because the rewards are so much better and things in relative terms, they don't cost as much. They've kind of fixed some of the things they made outrageously expensive and heavily decreased how much they cost. Not only that, the ships right out of the gate are so much more powerful than G4 that you don't feel the pressure to level it up.
But how much does it cost? Like for example, I'm saving up to get a part for my enterprise, and that's going to cost me like 163 million trite, right?
Oh,
that's probably like a drop in the bucket for a level 40 or a level 50.
I mean, that's probably the repair bill for one of these ships if you hit one hostile.
Plus, when you're in the G5 economy, when you're using your G4 ships, it's just your repair bills and other things are just not even a factor.
Because you're getting rewards on a regular basis where your tribe keeps going up, not down anymore.
Yeah, my trit and my dill just keep building. Where my par steel, I could use trillions more par steel. But I've never been in a place at 52 where I am now where there ain't nothing I can do. My dill and trit just keep growing and growing. Whereas when I was in the G4 economy, or even when I was at 50 before G5 launched, if I was grinding hard in an event all day, I could rack up some pretty big repair bills. I'd glance up and I'd be like, didn't I used to have 30 billion more trit than that?
Yeah, I've always said the exponential growth of this game is just it's bizarre. I don't know what other games are like, but are other games like this where the more you level, the growth and the usage of resources, materials, whatever, is just exponential?
EVE Online, maybe.
EVE Online.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there are a couple other games I played, and the progression is linear. So depending on the level, you might use a little more, but it's not outrageously more. Like in this game, it's just a huge exponential curve. It goes from 0 to 60 to 100 million in like a few levels.
Yeah, every time you end that progression of 10 levels, it's like you're in a whole new economy. It is kind of interesting design philosophy.
Yeah, it's a bit of a curveball.
All right, well, you guys got anything else?
Not really.
We're a lively group today.
Man, such a boring episode. I was expecting Kirk to light up the whole Karen fire again, but I guess it ain't happening today.
Well, there's some things I'm not willing to talk about at the moment, but next weekend.
That's why Kirk here was better, because then he'll just rattle it all off.
Well, that means you're gonna have less editing to do.
That's true. I will have less editing to do. It'll be a lot easier.
Maybe you can catch up with the other one. Give you a break.
Oh, it's tough.
Hopefully, we just recruited a little help. So
yeah. Well, we'll see what happens with that.
I'm hoping he has the time to help us out with editing.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Easier to get caught up with that. All right, guys. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining me today. Shadow, Occam's, Handy.
Thank you.
Have fun with your territory battles.
It was be, I think the fallout will be more fun than the actual doing it.
Yeah, right.
All right, well, come back next week. You can tell us all about it.
All right. I'll make that attempt, sir.
Excellent. All right, guys. Thanks for listening, everybody. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, do all those things for social media. Helps with the algorithm. And thanks for listening. I'm TechMan16.
And I'm Handy.
And we'll see you guys next time.